Welcome back to the channel, folks. JD here again. So we're in the garage this morning, and I'm going to give the Tesla Model 3 what I would call my kind of general maintenance wash. So I'm not going to be machine polishing it or compounding it or deionizing it or detarring it, anything like that. This is just kind of my usual routine. So just I'll go through some of the products that I'm going to be using this morning, and then we'll go through and start using them. Okay, so let's just have a look at what we're going to be using. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got Built Amber. Now, most of these products that I'm using are Built Amber. Cannot recommend Built Amber highly enough. Obviously, I'm not associated with them at all, but I've been using them for many years, and they are really, really good stuff. So, first thing I'm going to be using is the Built Amber Auto Foam. So that goes in a snow foam lance on the pressure washer. You basically spray it on. I'm sure most people have seen snow foaming before, but you spray it on, leave it to dwell. It's a really hot day today, so I'm pushing my luck washing the car, but I wanted to get it done, so I won't let it dwell for very long at all. In the winter you can obviously let it dwell for much longer, so we're going to use that. Surfex HD is a really, really good all-purpose cleaner. You can use it for loads of different things at various dilution ratios. It's really, really cost effective. For general kind of interior, for example, you can dilute it 100 to 1. For wheels, tyres, probably 10 to 1. So it's really, engine bays, you might use it 2 to 1, 5 to 1, whatever, but it's really, really efficient. I've had this ages and it's still got half a gallon left. So we might use that. I might try that on the bugs on the front, just as a bit of a pre-wash. Normally, actually, you probably saw my previous video, let's just talk a bit about this, Optimum No Rinse. I used that for removing the bugs when I didn't want to do a full wash. I may not bother with that today, but that is a really, really good product. If you haven't got access to a hose pipe, you just want to give it a quick wash, that's really good. Auto wash goes in the bucket. So once we've used the snow foam, I'll be using a little bit of this. Again, it's very, very efficient. There you can focus on that. Really, really efficient product. Tiny bit in a bucket of water. And then for glass, I think I did a little video on this, but this is brilliant. I found this courtesy of the Obsessed Garage channel. Check that out on YouTube. He does loads and loads of different car cleaning bits and bobs, but this stuff, it's about a tenner a bottle from Amazon, but really good, especially if you use it with the correct combination of towels. So I'll be doing the glass with the invisible glass as well. If I wasn't using auto wash or the ONR spray, which is basically a tiny little amount, I think I use 7 millilitres of ONR in this 500 ml bottle of water. If I wasn't using that to remove the bugs, what I might actually do is give them a pre-soak with some citrus pre-wash. So actually, a bit of an experiment, perhaps we'll compare Surfex HD, which I've got down in here. That's 100 to 1. That might not be strong enough for the bugs, but I might compare that, and we'll see how we get on. So let's first and foremost go out to the car and give it a bit of a pressure wash. I'll actually talk a bit about my pressure wash setup actually, because it's a really neat setup. I'm really pleased with it, and we'll start the wash off. Okay, here we go. Okay, so before we start, this is just my basic setup in the garage. This is a really, really cheap Karcher K2. It's not the best pressure washer in the world, but it certainly fits my needs. And then what I did off eBay, I bought this 15 meter rubber hose, which goes into a standard kind of quick release trigger gun, and you can get a variety of different, well, you can see that variety of different ends. Basically it's all quick release. I think this has currently got a 25-degree end on it, but you can get really directional ones. You can also detach this end, if I can take that off, and just use it as a straight gun. Really, really good bit of kit. It's a really, really sturdy rubber hose, much better than you will get in with your standard Karcher pressure washer. Basically comes off the pressure washer through a 1 meter rubber hose. What I've also done on here, you can see this, and I haven't really made use of it because it doesn't work that well, and I think I need a bigger tank, but this is a deionized water filter. Let me just get a shot of that. So essentially this is a 2-part water filter system. It's designed really for filtering fish tanks and stuff like that, so it doesn't work very well, and I'm probably going to get a bigger tank. But the theory is that the water comes in, it gets purified, it goes through some deionizing resin here, and then goes up to the pressure washer. So you can either wash the car with deionized water, or the idea is you just do your final rinse with it. And if you can see here, I just show you this bit here, I put this in line, which basically means that if you don't want to rinse with the pressure washer, you can literally take it off the pressure washer. If I can get this off, it's probably got water in it so I can't, but essentially you take it off here, stick this rubber hose directly into here, and it bypasses the pressure washer and lets you just do your final rinse through this deionized water chamber. But like I say, it's not very effective, and it really needs a bigger tank. You can get like diver sized tanks, about 11 gallons I think, and they are actually much more useful. I don't think the way the water passes through here, it's a big enough quantity to do a lot of decent deionization, if you like. So I probably won't be using that today, but this is just some basic push fit plumbing parts I put in so that you can bypass the filter if you wish. It's basically in the garage. Let me just show you how I've got this set up here. So I don't know how much you can see here, but basically I put a hose pipe in which goes through the wall to the outside tap, and kind of hardwired it in, if you like, into the garage. It comes right along here. I don't think you can see it very well, but essentially the hose goes along here. Essentially the hose comes down here. It's got a T-piece in, so it goes down here so I can have an outside tap in the garage, and then it carries on along. Got the doors up so you can't really see, and it comes down here, and then I got this kind of push fit to hose pipe end fitting, and then that goes into the pressure washer system. So all I have to do to get the pressure washer going is turn the outside tap on, and everything is kind of plumbed in and ready to go. Okay, so let's fire it up and get started with the wash. Okay, so I think the first thing to address, as I said earlier, is the bug splatter on the front of the car, and as you can see it's pretty well covered. This is just after a week of driving. So what we'll do is I might just do a little comparison to see which gets the bugs off the best. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll try a bit of Surfex HD, a bit of ONR, and a bit of citrus pre-wash, and I'll just blast them with the pressure washer and we'll see which works the best. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this section here and use Surfex HD at 100 to 1. The paintwork is quite cool. I'm in the shade here, so see how that works. It is actually dissolving things quite nicely. Wow, look at this. Never tried this before. This middle section, I will use the citrus pre-cleaner. And then on this section, I'll use some of the ONR spray. Got some nasty bugs on the headlights here. At first glance, the Surfex definitely seems to be doing the most dissolving. Let's just let that dwell for a minute or so while I get the old pressure washer out. So let's try. So this side was the Surfex. Not bad. There's a few little bits left that would need a bit of agitation, but that's pretty impressive, to be fair. Let's try the citrus pre-wash. Not bad too. There's probably not going to be much in this. And then this is the ONR. yes. Don't think the ONR is as effective. I'll bring the camera out so you can have a look. So this is the right hand side of the car where the ONR was. I don't know how much you can see on here, but there are still some bug splatter on there. I would say the citrus pre-clean section is probably very similar to the Surfx HD. Let's just have a look at the Surfx HD side. Not bad. That's the Surfx HD side. There is, you probably won't see it on camera, there is the odd little bug, but it's probably a lot better than the other side. The ONR is very good, like I said, if you don't want to use a pressure washer and you've got some physical kind of agitation, you've got some decent microfibers, you can certainly remove them. But I think if you want to just try and do as little contact washing as possible, the Surfx HD or the Citrus Pre-Wash seems to have worked the best. Okay, let's carry on with the full wash regime then. Here we go. Right, so let's give it a general rinse first. Paintwork's quite cool. I'm in the shade here, so I might get away with this. Being a white car, it's not so obviously bad as if you were washing a black car in the sun. I think what I'll do is just do the rest of this front end with some more Surfx. Definitely does dissolve them. Quite impressed with that. You can see it running. It looks the same as, you know, when you put a tar remover on. It's pretty much got it off. Let's do the back of the mirrors as well. Right, dwell for a minute or two. That is pretty impressive. That's got those mirrors a treat. A little stain on this bonnet here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Got a little stone chip here. Wow, that's a good stone chip. Right, let's just do the other side of the car. Let's get a bit more hose. Alexa, turn off garage lights. Save a bit of energy. Let's give myself a bit more real. Right, let's just go around the back. Something nasty on this back wheel here, like chewing gum or something. That is, Jesus. Right. Oh, my microphone's fallen off my trousers, folks. Okay, what I'm going to do now then is get the old snow foam going. So there's probably just enough snow foam in this gun, in this lance here. I tend to use this neat. You can try all sorts of things. You'll see references to PIR ratio, which is panel impact ratio, which is where you effectively water it down and then put the dilution dial on the top to maximum. What I do is use a neat formula, and I've dialed it back so it's only pumping some of the a much less proportion of the neat product through, if you see what I mean. So let's just give it a coating of this. Now with the built hamber you don't get a particularly thick coverage of foam, but don't let that put you off. You don't want a real thick amount of foam on the car, because it would just dwell forever and never do anything. So the built hamber does look quite watery, but actually its cleaning power is really quite impressive. As you can see, I'm not putting a huge amount on, but you can see that it's hardly touched the amount of neat product in the lance. So there's plenty really. There's the glass. Now in this hot weather, as well as the bugs on the front, the windscreen is covered, so it'll be interesting to see how they come off. That glass is really hot, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to let it dwell on the glass. I'm going to rinse it off pretty much straight away, certainly off the roof area. So let's get the old this is really handy actually, especially for doing under your arches, and because it's got a slight 45 degree or it's 30 degree angle, I think. It's quite useful for getting on the top of cars. Just want to rinse this off. Now if my deionized water was working properly, it'd be ideal in this weather. I might just try it, just to see if it dries without any water spots. Nasty bugs on the window. believe I've got this stone chip here. That's shocking. It's actually pretty clean now though. This mirror's come up really well where I put the Surfex on. I think what I'm going to do, because it's so warm, I think I'm going to get the car into the garage to let it cool down, and then I might just, rather than using the auto wash, I might give it a wash with ONR now, because it's pretty clean now. It's just the odd bit of, you know, dust and splatter up the bottom of the door arches and things. So I might just do it like that, because the roof is really hot. And what I think I'm going to try and do, just out of curiosity, I've just come into the garage and I'm going to turn on the ionized water. If I can open the valves. These valves are so stiff. Okay. Just out of interest. So I've now set the water to come out of the deionizing chamber thing. So I'm going to do it on the glass and just see if it dries clear. Oh, doesn't sound good, does it? I don't think I've turned the tap on properly. Yeah, there we go. I turned the taps off in the wrong order, so it would cut the water supply off. So let's try again. There we go. Keep knocking my radio mic receiver off my trousers. Transmitter even. Let's try again. So in theory, this, if it was working, a bit like when your window cleaner comes, it should dry with no water spots. But I don't think it works very well, but we shall see. Let's give the glass a really good blast off with the deionized water. The windows as well. We shall see when we get it inside if this has actually worked. Let's do this side. Now it could be the reason that it doesn't work very well is that the pressure washer is pulling too much water through too quickly. So what I'm going to do, just out of interest, is, let me think, might not be able to do this. I do that. Can't release the bloody hose from the pressure washer because it's full of pressure. No, I won't bother. But essentially what I was going to try and do is connect the hose straight to the deionizing tank and bypass the pressure washer altogether. Right. Now, I can already see water spots are all over this car, so it's not working. So let's get it inside the garage and we'll give it an ONR. Okay, we're in the garage now. Alexa, turn on garage lights. Alexa, close door 2. Alexa, turn on garage lights. Okay, now I can see the glass is boiling, but there are. Now whether this dried on before yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Okay, so it's still dirty, but we've done the snow foam. We've cleared, you know, a lot of the dust off, and because it's so warm, it's just going to end up drying too quickly. So what I'm going to do is use a capful of ONR. Okay, so for ONR, you get a bucket, quite obviously. And all I'm going to do is just put 1 capful of ONR into the wash bucket. It smells amazing. It smells like bubble gum. So while that's filling, I'll just get a couple of nice microfiber towels. So the towels I'm going to use are a couple of these. I mentioned these before. Have a look at the Rag Company. You want 470 gram or 500 gram 70-30 mix, Korean. Really nice. And we're just going to use 1 to wash it off with and 1 to dry it with. You don't need much product. Probably about a gallon of water to 1 capful. Probably going to be plenty. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically soak the microfiber towel in the product, and you want to rinse it out so it's not bone dry, but it's not kind of really wet. Okay, and then what we're going to do is just do a panel at a time. Make sure we get right under the sills. And this will just get rid of the dust in this hot weather. Probably get rid of this side as well. As I've said before, this car has been ceramic coated, and it has got 2 coats of crystal, a coat of crystal serum light and 2 coats of exo. So it's pretty well protected. I'm just going to get this second dry towel and just dry it off. Now, as I said, this wouldn't really be my normal maintenance wash. I would do a full, you know, lamb's wool mitt wash, but because it's so warm, it's 29 at the moment, it's just going to dry too quickly. So we'll just do it like this, and this works terrifically well. Look at that. I'll do the glass separately, so I'm not too worried about the glass. Beautiful. So I'll do the rest of the car, and then we'll get back. I'll check back in with you, and we'll do the glass with some invisible glass. Okay, catch you in a minute. So I've now pretty much finished. The problem when you use ONR, unlike a traditional wash, is that you obviously don't really clean inside the door wells, etc. So I'm just going to quickly do those. So again, just with the ONR, give it a rough rinse. Just get all in here. Give it a quick dry, and that's all it needs. Lovely. Let's do the side of the doors underneath. underneath here. Lovely. Okay. That'll do for now. It's not going to do the best wash in the world, it's just too hot. Do the same in here. Give it a dry. And that's really pretty clean. Just do down here and along. Give that a wipe. Okay. So, not bad for now. What I'm going to do is just do the windows now. Okay, so when I do the windows with invisible glass, I find that the secret is to get the product off as quickly as possible. Now, if I was doing the windscreen, I might be tempted to spray the glass, but what I do is just spray the cloth. So I've got a nice towel here, just a few spritz, that's all you need, straight on, and then get yourself a low lint waffle weave or something equivalent and just buff off the product. If you use a microfiber towel for glass, you will end up with a lot of lint everywhere. So you want a really nice, flat, almost like silk. Not quite sure what you call these cloths, but they work really well. And that's all I do for the glass. Same again on the front, so a couple of spritz. Straight on, into the mirror, straight off before it dries. Make sure you get all that product off. Now, if I was doing this seriously, I would have my inspection torch on me as well. I did all the inside of the panoramic roof and that was a bugger. So you really need a good light to see where you've been. Okay, let's just do the roof. Let's just do the roof. Okay, so let's just do the roof, same thing. I might just be tempted to spray this because it's quite a big area. Just wipe it on. And buff straight off. Now I can see there is still some watermarks from where the water dried. I was a bit stupid actually, spraying the car in that kind of heat. It's not bad. It's just the odd one. Kosh Chemi FSE is a good product for removing water spots because it has a lime scale remover in it. It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work. I find sometimes, believe it or not, the old classic white wine vinegar works very well. White wine vinegar with some distilled water works really well for getting stubborn water spots off. In fact, I might try that if they don't come off. They're all right, but there's just the odd thing. So again, just buffing off the glass with the glass cloth. It's not going to be perfect. It's all right. I won't bother showing you the water spots because you probably won't see them on camera. Let's get these pesky bugs off. It's just the odd bit of bug splatter, which it's all very well having nice weather, but it does nothing for your keeping your car clean. Yeah, there's just, I might get some vinegar on this in a minute. Tell you something though, I won't be doing much more. I shall be getting myself a cold beer of some description shortly. The good thing about this invisible glass though is that it is really good. Another good one is G-Technic G6. I use that sometimes, but I do find, I don't know why, but I think invisible glass has got the edge. Let's do this side, so a bit on the cloth, straight off. Same again, and that is that. Okay, quick wash, O&R, Auto Foam, Surface HD, said O&R. So that was kind of my general quick maintenance wash, certainly this time of year when it's really hot. It's not the best. And if this will get rid of them. Try a bit more invisible glass, see if it gets rid of the old water spots. It's not bad. They're still there slightly. I'm going to get my vinegar on those. Anyway, I'll check it out for now. Thanks very much for watching. Please do comment and subscribe. I'll be back with some more finance videos soon. Take care. See you next time.